What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Post.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise Post. What's going on, everybody? Welcome.
Anyway, yeah, this game was rough, man.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
First of all, chat, if you guys hear any updates at all on Dame, if you could please let us know, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. We don't have the ability to constantly check on Twitter for stuff. And also, like I already saw someone under the name Lillard's Knees commenting on a bunch of our old YouTube videos. We're not going to stand for any making fun of Lillard or like saying that it was good that he got hurt or whatever. Like, we don't want to hear it. So
instant ban. That's an instant ban, mods.
We're going to ban anyone who talks crap about Dame. Let's just be cool about it. Pray he's okay. Yeah. Let's not be that fan base. And if there are people in here, I'm obviously assuming that it's trolls and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Yeah. We're not going to stand for any of that kind of crap. Like,
yeah, I mean,
saying injury is good. I see that all over Twitter right now.
Yeah, I mean, you have just low life scum. You know, that's all. People who say that type of stuff are just low lives, man. So,
thanks, Lakers fan 24. I'm glad.
Kyle Wilson, where'd you hear that? Stress fracture in tibia? That was his ankle, not his tibia. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna focus on that. Basically, season's over now. They're not coming back from this, especially since. Sorry, I had to reply to a Twitter troll. I just replied it, ha 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 ha, because basically people were trolling right now. But yeah, no, season's on. I mean, they're probably not gonna have they're probably not going to have Dame next game, and even if they do, like, they're not coming back to win this series. This is very rough, man. Like, season's done. They won game one, you know, that was cool. And then it's gone to the last 3 games have been terrible. At least game 3 was competitive, but there's a second night where we just got absolutely embarrassed on a national stage, where we didn't show up, where the players didn't play with any energy, where Stotts didn't make a single adjustment, where Stotts' offense was just absolute garbage, which I've always said, it's Stotts' offense does not work against elite defensive teams. If you have a good offensive coach, he should be able to draw things that are able to work sometimes against any team, but we got terrible shots all game long. We didn't get good looks inside. We didn't really get many open threes, and people say the Lakers defense, and yes, the Lakers have really good defense, but our offense was just extended beyond the arc. No passing into the interior. The only way we were getting into the interior was if we were playing one-on-one or doing pick and roll. It was one-on-one, dribbling downhill. The thing is, when you play one-on-one, the defense behind that is set, and they're so big that it's like, okay, we beat our guy off the dribble one-on-one, but we're attacking a set defense, and they have AD and JaVale McGee. They're already set to protect the rim. Like, you can't just have those guys completely set up behind the dribble penetration. So every time we even beat a guy, it was just we were getting smothered at the rim because we were playing one-on-one, which allowed the defense to be set, and then pick and roll, which wasn't working because we were getting trapped. I'm not sure why Trevin didn't ban him or anything, so I don't know why that's the case. And then it's just pick and roll, which they're trapping. They're defending the pick and roll extremely well right now. Dame isn't able to get looks off of it. It's hard to even get the ball to the big guy. They're trapping it. So our pick and roll isn't working. And basically, you take, when the one-on-one and the pick and roll doesn't work, our offense is just absolutely terrible and we can't get good shots. That's not the mark of a good offensive coach to me. If you're a good offensive coach, you should be able to have something that you can turn to when pick and roll and one-on-one basketball isn't working, because that's the thing. Pick and roll and one-on-one, it's very simple basketball. You can roll the ball out there, and without a coach, they'll be running one-on-one and pick and roll because those are the 2 very basic things to do offensively. So that's the thing. It's just like when that gets taken away, we can't score the ball. Obviously, a defensive end was a big deal today, but I'm more frustrated with the offense. The defense, I mean, we just had no energy, and I guess some of that might be fatigue, but I don't know. The defensive end is just kind of, I don't know, we're kind of a little overmatched, and you probably have more of a breakdown on that. I was more focused on what our offense was doing, to be honest, and defensively, it was just like they were going to score anytime anyway.
Well, honestly, we played decent defense in the first 2 games, and a lot of that had to do with Wenyan guarding AD, and for some reason, Stotts went away from him, and of course, AD killed us last game, and he kills us this game, at least in the first half. Like, they just went to him, and he was making every shot. A complete failure of a move to put in Whiteside the last 2 games. Like, it couldn't have gone any worse. Like, I just don't know. I don't like when it didn't even play till like garbage time tonight. And our defense, we gave up 80 points in the first half, and our best defender on AD didn't even play in the game. Like, It makes no sense. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know how you can defend. And then on offense, so we're down 15-0. Every single play to start this game, we had 3 people standing in the corner while 2 people had some pick and roll up top. No movement, no passing, no nothing other than handoff passing, that going away from the hoop. No cutters, no nothing, no off ball screens, nothing. How do you come out in this game with your lives on the line in the playoffs and just come out running the same crap that has gotten you 20 points a quarter for the last 12 quarters? It's inexcusable, dude. I don't get it. It's anyone saying that Stotts deserves a pass. He did this crap with the starters in. The starters lost us this game in the first few minutes of this game. It's not anything to do with the bench or whatever. Yes, that would help to have a better bench in most games, but we're so outmatched in this series because we're fighting from a deficit coaching wise that we have no chance. And the worst thing that could have happened was coming out game 1 on fire, hitting all those shots. Because now, I said this at the end of game 1, I was trying to be positive, but I freaking knew that Stotts would just keep that same freaking game plan because we won the game and not change a single dang thing this entire series and just keep it the same. And then be like, oh, well, we did it in game 1. I don't know why it's not working now. Oh, nothing I can do about it. Don't have the players. They just got to make shots. Oh, my players need to adjust to the intensity of the playoffs. How about you make a freaking adjustment, Stotts? Gosh, he hasn't done anything in the series. He has not done a single thing. Not one thing. Someone please explain to me. I want to hear from a Stotts apologist. I just want them to tell me one adjustment other than putting Whiteside in, which was a freaking terrible adjustment. Give me one X's and O's adjustment he has made in this series, because he hasn't changed a dang thing. And the Lakers figured it out after the first quarter of game 1, and we've done nothing since then to counteract what they're doing. We didn't change our defense. We've kept the same exact defense the whole time, and this is why it worked in game 1, because they weren't used to it. They were like, what the heck? Portland's running a different defense. But then when you run the same defense every freaking time, it doesn't work. That's what we've been telling you guys since our very first podcast. The first question, I believe, was, what do you want to see the Blazers do differently on defense? And we talked about how they need to be able to switch it up. Don't do the same thing every time, because a guy like LeBron, a guy like AD will kill you. You cannot beat those guys if they know the exact coverage they're going to face every time they touch the ball. It doesn't make sense that we would just keep running the same thing and getting the results we're getting, our butts kicked, and just keep doing it and not do anything to try and change something.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Wenyan Gabriel in the fourth quarter with Jalen Adams had a show and recover on a pick, and they stopped him and got a defensive stop. And they got a bad shot on defense. I know these players could freaking do it. It's not the personnel. It's the scheme, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
it's making me so mad. And it's just like, Dame, go save us. Go score 40 or we're going to lose again. CJ, if you're not hitting insane step back crossovers, floaters from like 15 feet. We're gonna lose, so please go hit those, please. That's like our only offense. Melo, go in the post and brick another 15-foot shot. Like,
there's so much one-on-one, man. How is this guy a good offensive coach if it's just a primarily one-on-one and pick and roll? I really don't understand that. Like, what redeeming qualities does Terry Stotts have in terms of stuff that actually happens on the floor? I get it that players like him. I get it that he's a player's coach. I get that that's one of his strengths. I get that he, it's kind of subjective, but I get why people would say he's good at developing players. I get all that. But that type of guy isn't going to win you a championship. You can't really win a championship with that type of guy. You're not going to have playoff success with that type of guy, unless you run into a situation last year where we played a even worse coach team in the Oklahoma City Thunder. In my opinion, like Billy Donovan is the worst coach in the league. That's the only guy, but definitely below Stotts. I think he's super overrated. And then we ran into Denver, who has looked like crap this playoff series. Denver was their first playoffs inexperienced, and Malone is getting a lot of heat right now because he doesn't switch up his defensive scheme, and because he has a lot of the same issues that Stotts does. And based off watching that series, my opinion on Malone has soured as well. So it's like, okay, we had one run in 8 years under Stotts. One run in 8 years when we have potentially the best player in franchise history, and somehow that's a good result for people, and that just doesn't make sense to me. If Terry Stotts was in New York City, he would have been ran out of town years ago. He would have been ran out of town after that 2018 series. Like, I just don't know what it's going to take. Just what redeeming qualities does he have in terms of offense, in terms of defense? Offensively, he just runs pick and roll and isolation. That's pretty much it. And if you take that away, you can beat the Blazers. It's hard to take away because they have good pick and roll and isolation players, but a great defense like the Los Angeles Lakers will take that away. That's why we've never beat a contending team. That's why we get absolutely destroyed against any contending level team we ever play. Denver last year was not a contending level team. Oklahoma City last year was not a contending level team. The Clippers without Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, when we beat them, were not a contending level team. We have never beat a contending level team. We have never been to that level, even though we have the best player in franchise history, even though we have CJ McCollum. This year we have Melo, who was playing good in the bubble. We have Nurkic. We have like decent pieces. I get it that we're missing guys, but our roster is not as bad as they're playing. We are not 30 points worse than the Los Angeles Lakers. We are not that bad. We should not be getting blown out like that for the second time in 3 games. And that's the problem I have with it is... Go ahead.
Portland, we are proud that they made the Western Conference Finals. That doesn't mean we can't criticize the coach, dude.
Yeah. I'm just saying they've never beat a contending level team. They've never beat a contending level team. And every time you go up against a contending level team with a top-notch defense, our offense completely falls apart. It always does. It always completely falls apart. That's a problem I have. Like, if we're holding ourselves... That's the thing. Fans need to hold this organization to a contender-level status. Right? Not like, we made one cool run to the Western Conference Finals so they got swept, but good year. Let's see what we can do this year. No, like, are we trying to be contenders or not? We have the best player in franchise history.
He says one bad game. We need to trust the team will be better next game.
Don't pay attention.
Are you still holding out hope, man? We've had 3 bad games in a row.
Don't pay attention.
I know, I'm just asking. Like, and see... This is the problem. We can win a game like Game 1. We can win a game like that. But like, you cannot win consistently in the playoffs and make deep runs every year with
that's the point I was trying to make.
with relying on teams to get hot and stuff. Like, it's just...
Anyway, trying to finish my point.
Go ahead.
Against top-notch defenses, you can't just rely on isolation and pick and roll. So that's the thing. It'll work during the regular season. That's how you can win enough games to be a 3 seed. That's how you can look good during the regular season. But once playoffs roll around, sorry for Westbrook, Mr. $2 donation. He says Stotts has an IQ of 189. But I appreciate the donation, man. But here's the thing, man. If we're going to hold the team to a contender-level status, we have to hold the coach to a contender-level status. And a lot of fans don't hold Terry Stotts to a contender level status. They're just cool with like, oh, we made a Western Conference Finals run, so he has to be a good coach. Or, oh, I mean, we got the 3 seed and we won a lot of games. He has to be a good coach. It's stuff like that. But a contender level coach doesn't just run isolation and pick and roll, because those are the 2 easiest actions to guard. It's the 2 main actions that teams run. So in the playoffs, when you play a team over and over and over again in a series, they're going to take that away from you, especially if they are a top-notch defense like the Los Angeles Lakers. And when that happens, you have to be able to adapt and go to something else systematically offensively in order to generate easy shots. And the problem is, Terry Stotts does not do that. That is my problem with him offensively. In terms of holding him to a contender level status, he has no redeeming qualities for me, because the offense doesn't work at that level and the defense certainly doesn't work at that level. Nothing that Stotts does works at a contender level.
Exactly. We have the players to make the playoffs every year. That's not the problem. Like, we would make the playoffs whether we had Stotts as a coach or not, I believe, at this point. We're just that good of a team. So, like, to say that he's made the playoffs 7 straight years or whatever, that's Dame, dude. That's like Aldridge the first couple of years. That's CJ. Like, that's the players on this team that have gotten us to the playoffs those years. That's not Stotts. And I just want to hear one of those guys tell me something he has done in this series to make a difference coaching wise, versus just, well, he made it this far, the Blazers shouldn't even have been the 8 seed or whatever, Like, I just want to hear someone tell me one thing, just one, that he does schematically well, because it's not good enough to win in the playoffs. And I know we're not supposed to win. We're the 8th seed, whatever. But, like, we're not even trying to win. We had no chance to win this game tonight with our game plan that we came out with. Like, it's not going to win. It's not going to beat a team like the Lakers, like you said, if you just come out and try to hope that your guys just are going to magically get better. And you've made this point several times, Tori, where about the Dame loving to play against drop scheme, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many examples do we have of teams trapping Dame and it getting us out of our offense? Do we have several examples of that, right?
Yeah.
So Stotts knows it works against his star, but why doesn't he try that against other stars?
He tries it against James Harden, man.
Yeah, he does it it works against James Harden. Why doesn't in the playoffs he try like trapping LeBron up top or doing something like he does with Harden?
Yeah.
And then so he says that Nurk can be taken out of the pick and roll with aggressive defense, right? He said that after last game, right?
Yep.
So why don't you get aggressive on your pick and roll defense then? Why don't you try that one time, Terry? If it works so well against your freaking best pick and roll offense ever, why don't you try that on defense then? Why?
Yeah.
God, it's so frustrating. Like, you're saying in these press conferences, oh, the key to beating us is stopping Nurk in pick and roll because it doesn't work. Well, why don't you try doing that against them then? Get aggressive on defense. Instead, you just sit back and let them score at will, and then you do your stupid ISO offense that doesn't score in the playoffs. You're not going to freaking win this way. It's so frustrating. And people on Twitter, I'm so sick of it. Danny Meringue and those kind of guys, like, they freaking just like, oh, criticizing his coach, you're an idiot. Like, screw you guys. Like, he sucks. He literally sucks. He's a terrible coach. He is costing the Dame his fucking prime. Sorry. I wasn't trying not to swear. He was costing Dame his prime years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The guy is stealing a paycheck. He is doing nothing. He's not even coaching. What is he doing? Yeah. Seriously, someone tell me what he's doing as a coach.
At this point,
other than leaving his starters in with down 40 in the third quarter, now he's freaking hurt.
At this point, like, it's so hard. Like, I don't have the energy to keep getting mad over the same things. Like, it's so frustrating, but it's like
I couldn't do it last game, so
yeah, I feel it. You have it built up. For me, it's just like, I mean, we've been saying this all year. Like, we've been on it all year with this, and at this point, it's kind of just like, it is what it is. I don't even know, like, I don't know. The only thing that can be done is if Stotts gets fired. Like, that's the only way things are going to get changed. It's almost like, well, he ain't going to get fired, That's not going to happen. So the only thing we can hope for is like maybe he like, oh, I don't love doing this, I'm going to step down. But I don't count on that. Like Stas is going to be here for the rest of Dame's career, it seems like. So at this point for me, man, like if it's start of the season, I'd definitely be getting frustrated and stuff. It's just like, it's almost just like we see the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, well, we're screwed. You know, going into the game, they start up at 10-0, and it's like, well, I already know we lost. This is how it's going to go again. I've seen this story before. It's almost just like, so resigned to that. This is just always going to happen.
I knew the first offensive possession of the game that we were going to get our butts kicked tonight. Like, and that's what's frustrating. Is like, that's why I'm mad. Like, I went into the game prepared to be like, you know what? As long as we try our best and like at least try to do something on offense, I was like, maybe after 2 games of seeing this, that his offense isn't working, maybe they come out trying something different. When they had 3 guys literally standing in the corner and ran a pick and roll and it went nowhere and they got shut down, like I was like, oh great, this is going to be a long game. And like, yeah, we didn't score for like the first 4 minutes or whatever. Like you can just tell right off the bat that like he did nothing. He did nothing between the games to prepare his team for this game. And instead he's like, oh, the players need to step up their intensity and make adjustments. Like, why don't you prepare your team?
Yeah. Yeah. There's gonna be nothing on Dame tonight. I'm kinda like looking for anything. That's kind of the other thing to cut out of this game is Dame's possibly really hurt. I'm not entirely sure, but the way he landed has me nervous. Because he landed the same way that Jonathan Isaac did, that Derrick Rose did when they tore their ACLs. And maybe it's good that he like felt like he could go on it, so it didn't seem that bad. But didn't Rondo do that in the past? Like I've seen somebody, or Levine or somebody did that in the past with a torn ACL where they like played on it for a couple minutes, then got subbed out. So I don't know. The way he landed though has me nervous.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, because you watched Clay last year, he goes like most people when they tear their ACL go down immediately and like are clutching their knee, and he didn't even go down. He just kind of hobbled around a little bit. I'm really hoping it's just like a MCL or PCL sprain or something. But
yeah, pray to God, because at this point the season's lost.
Just hope you have him back for the beginning of next year, because that would if it's next year, yeah, because we're already end of August here, so it's like entire season next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know, man. So I'm kind of sick to my stomach. He shouldn't have been in the damn game. That's what I'm more mad about. Like, does Terry really think he has a chance to win the game when he's down 40 in the third quarter? Does he really think that there is any sort of chance that that the team is going to come back from that deficit when they've looked the way they looked all game? Like,
I don't understand it. Every single game, he plays Dame the first full 12 minutes and the second full 12 minutes. And if he needs to keep him in, he doesn't even take him out in the fourth quarter after playing 12 minutes. It's like, we're down by 40. Just try a different rotation. Try something else. Like, take Dame out first instead of CJ. Maybe CJ gets going or something. Like just, I don't understand why you always have to have this. I know, but I just don't understand having the same rotation every time. And that's what he'll say. Oh, I always leave Dame in for the third quarter or whatever. Like,
I think I saw something like Dwight asked him, and he says, oh, I like leaving the starters until the end of the third quarter to see if we chip into the lead, and then I take them out for the fourth. But that just makes me think, like, okay, how bad would it have to be going into halftime for you to, like, rest your starters? What if they were down 80 at halftime somehow? Like, would you rest your starters then, or do you still play them for the rest of the third quarter? Like, what's the point? Like, at what point do you realize it's a lost cause? Down 40 against the Los Angeles Lakers in the middle of the third, it's a lost cause at that point. Yeah. Like, he's delusional if they think they have any chance. When has an NBA team ever came back from a 40-point deficit in NBA history, let alone against the best, the number one seed in the West in a playoff game?
In the second half.
Yeah. Like, when has that ever happened? It's never happened, so why is Dame in the game? And then, of course, second time in a row where Dame shouldn't have been in the game at that point, like it was a lost cause, and the second time, because game 2, they were down by like 30 in the third, and then now they were down by 40 in the third, like second lost game in a row where Dame was still in the game when it was lost and got hurt. Like, it's not excusable. If Dame has a torn ACL, Stotts needs to be fired for a whole new reason. And that's for him playing Dame when they're down 40 in the third in a game that they had no chance of coming back in and basically losing Dame in a game that was already decided. There's no excuse for that. Absolutely none. Because if you lose Dame for like all of next season, like you just, like that move basically kind of destroys our franchise. Kind of destroys like any chance we have, like, because then Dame comes back, hopefully he can return to form, but like we lose a whole entire season, right? Because Stotts couldn't accept that we had lost a game down 40 in the third against the Lakers, we might lose an entire season. That's not excusable to me. There is nothing anybody can do to excuse that.
Well, at what point was it, like game 10 that we were already saying that Stotts was running Dame into the ground this year? And I know they had 4 months off, but like he goes right back to doing it again in the bubble. He's such a poor coach that we had to have Dame play 45 minutes a game in the 8 seeding games just to win against teams that are playing scrubs against us. Yeah. And then the playoffs this year, like there's no rest in between the games. It's every other day. Unlike a normal playoffs, it's just so frustrating. Like I get it. I'm not really going to put the injury on him. But yeah, it's just tough.
You're not
like
putting the injury on Stotts?
I can't put an injury like that on Stotts. Like I just can't do it.
The game was 100% lost.
I completely agree.
And it
with
already
that.
happened once this series.
Yeah, I know. I can't put it fully on Stotts. It sucks. It's horrible. I'm going to stick to things that I can actually kill Stotts for, game plan wise. Like,
how are you not going to put that on Stotts? That, like, what the odds of us losing that game at that point that Dame got hurt? What would you have said they were?
It's 0. It was 0.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if the game is if we have 0 chance of winning, and Dame has played so much that he is probably at risk for injury. Yeah. So how do you not hold him accountable for that?
I am holding him accountable.
Surprised.
I'm just saying I'm not going to harp on him being the reason Dame got hurt. I completely agree with everything you said.
He's not like the reason. Like the play is the reason, but he is liable because he had him in.
I'm going to blame Stotts for being down 40 in the first place.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, those problems resulted in Stotts making, like, screw it. If we lose by 40 and then lose next game, okay, at least we have next year. At least we can look forward to next year. If we lose Dame if we lose Dame to something serious, our franchise is basically nothing with him because Stotts was playing him when we had 0% chance to win. I can't let that go. I cannot let that go. I will never let that go. I will, bro. Like, and honestly, as the owner, Jody, like, how would the owner let that go either? Like, that is your guy. That, I mean, we don't have fans and seats, but that is your franchise. He is the most valuable member by far of the entire organization. Far more valuable than Olshey, far more valuable than Stotts, far more valuable than any player, and you're risking him when he's been ran into the ground, played a ton, and you're risking his health when you know he's probably at risk for, possibly some injury because of how many minutes he's been playing, right? And when you're down 40 with no chance of win, you're still going to play him. It's not excusable to me. I can't let that go. Pray to God. Like, the thing is, even if Dame has like a minor injury, maybe out 6 weeks, whatever, it's still not excusable because it could be really bad. And the fact that Stotts, after doing it once this series too, with Dame dislocating his finger in a game where they were down 30 and Dame should have been in the game, after doing it once, for Stotts to do that again the very next blowout doesn't fly at all. So, like, I am holding Stotts accountable for this. I am pissed off that he was in the game. Even if it's some minor, it's still like, bro, he could have torn his ACL. Pray to God that he didn't actually tear his ACL. Obviously, we'll get word on that tomorrow, I'm guessing. Kind of sucks, but that we have to wait that long. But, yeah, no, I can't let it fly. It's ridiculous.
So Portlandia said earlier that we're gonna look stupid when the Blazers come back and win this.
How much do you want to? No.
I can't even.
You're giving him too much attention. But since you brought him up,
but no, I'll be cool. So I just want to say, it would be awesome. Like, I mean, obviously that would kick ass if we came back and won this series, right? That would be amazing. Like, I would love that. I was like, especially if we don't have Lillard and we somehow win 3 games in a row, awesome. That would be great. But that doesn't change the fact that the coach hasn't done anything to make us not lose these last 3 games. So, like, we could have been in a better position. We could have had, if you just win one of those 3 games, we're 2-2 right now. We have a legit chance of winning this series. Maybe Dame doesn't get hurt because something different happened. But yeah, so it still doesn't excuse the coaching the last 4 games if you want to say that we win this series in 7. So yes, it'll be good, and obviously he would have had to have changed something in order for us to win the next 3 games, because he can't win the next 3 games if he doesn't make any adjustments.
Yeah. Hey, if he's going to talk that strong, he should put his money where his mouth is. Bet me. If the Blazers don't win the series, donate $100 on the last post-game stream of the season. If they win, I'll give you $100. Shoot, if they win, I'll give you $200. $250. Like, if you want to talk about, like, oh, we're going to look dumb when they come back, like, okay, if you're that confident, bet. Let's do it. I want drop that dono, man.
Man, I was getting so jealous. Like, the Lakers ran some backdoor, like, picks and stuff that got open dunks, and it's while, like, LeBron's driving, so he has someone to pass to and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just kept thinking, man, imagine if Dame was driving the way he does and he had, like, a guy streaking wide open to the basket almost every time. Like, you know how easy the game would be for a guy like Dame if he had the same type of coaching and, like, just had a little bit of movement off the ball to, like, help him either get some more space because the defense has to stay home, or if the defense collapses on him, he has, like, open lanes to pass. It's so infuriating that you can watch other teams, like, take advantage of that. But no, we'll just have our guys, like, all stand next to each other in the corner and not even care.
Yeah.
No. Alvin Gentry sucks too. He outcoached Stotts in a series, but that's not saying much. That's his one accomplishment as a coach. So, like, no.
This is just, it's sad, man. I pray to God Dame only has a sprained knee or something. You know, it's something like sprained MCL or something. Like, it's something ligament-wise. I guarantee it. Like, you don't land like that and then have a knee injury and then have an MRI if it's not something ligament-wise. Like, it 100% is. I just pray it's a sprain something. Or even, like, I'll take a torn meniscus over a torn ACL. Hopefully it's not bad, you know what I mean? But when you start saying meniscus, it's just
meniscus is scary because of
giving me Brandon Roy flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, dude. The organization right now is in a sad state. We have the best player in our franchise's history, in my opinion, and we've only been pretenders. We've never been a contending level team. You look at that team, you know, that started off great when we had Aldridge and Dame's second year, right? And then we beat Houston. But then what happened? We got absolutely destroyed by the Spurs, by a true contending level team, right? Every time we go up against a true contender level team, we get destroyed. We aren't ever competitive in a series against a top team in the league. You look at Golden State last year, we got swept. You look at the year before, I mean, New Orleans was a contender and we got swept. The year before that, we were the AC, went up against Golden State. We got swept, right? What was the year before that? Was that when we beat the Clippers and then played the Warriors?
Yep.
And we lost in 5.
We almost didn't make the playoffs the next year with basically the same roster.
The year before that, we lost to Memphis in 5. The year before that, we lost to and Memphis wasn't a contending team really either. The year before that, we played San Antonio, contender, lost in 5. Since Dame has been here, since Stotts has been here, we've never been truly competitive against a contending level team in the playoffs. Never. It's sad. Like, whether you want to blame Olshey for that or Stotts for that, I put blame on mostly Stotts, but some of it is definitely on Olshey. Olshey definitely has some responsibility here. Mm-hmm. He's definitely made a lot of mistakes. whoever you want to put the blame on, it's just sad that we have the best player in franchise history and have never reached contender status.
Well, now look, we're stuck. Like, Whiteside obviously is not a good backup center, so he's not a good starting power forward either. But couldn't have called that back on the trade deadline, right?
See, and this is the type of thing, like, fans, like, they don't have that, a lot of fans don't have that competitive mindset, it seems like. They don't want to think of us as contenders, right? Instead of like, dang, dude, we need to reach contender status so that we can compete with the best teams. Instead of that, it's like what Portlandia just said. Well, we literally just lost to the best team in the NBA last year. We got swept, but it's the Warriors. Like, that's a pretender mindset. That is not a contender mindset. A contender mindset is like, we should beat anybody. A contender is thinking championship. It's not making excuses for not getting a championship. A pretender is like, oh, well, we just ran into a really good team, so, you know, it is what it is. Screw that. I want to contend. We have Damian Lillard. He is, in my opinion, the most talented player in franchise history. Some people would argue that, but that's not really the point. He's insanely talented. He is one of the top, in my opinion, 7 players in the league. I don't think AD is better than him. I don't. Like, he is a top.
Yeah.
He's a top 6 or 7 number 1 guy in the league, right? There's like 4 or 5 contending teams every year. If you have one of the top 6 or 7 players in the league and you are a good and well-run organization and a well-coached organization, there's no excuse for not being a contender.
So, awesome. Dude, we're not bashing the team. We love the team. Like, why do you say we're
not bashing the team? I kind of am bashing the team. You could look at it as me bashing the team.
Our team. We're disrespecting the coach and the general manager.
Bro, I'm not. I'm calling it. Let me just respond. See, that's the thing. People view any sort of criticism as just bashing. Oh my God, you're bashing, disrespectful. No, man. I want this team to win a championship. That's where this is coming from. This is coming from my love of the team. I want this team to win a championship.
But that his next comment is, let's trade for Embiid. Oh, I thought you loved our team, dude. Why would you say we need to trade for anybody if you love our team?
Yeah. We're not going to get into trade stuff, but there's no way in hell. You don't see, that's why people blame Olshey. They think Olshey could just go to Philadelphia and say, hey, Nurkic and 2 first-round picks for Embiid, and that Philadelphia would do that. That's
did you
not
see the Danny Meringue trade today.
What did he say?
He posted it was Collins, Ant, Ariza, and 2 first-round picks for LeVert and Dinwiddie.
So stupid.
Oh, no, it was CJ. It was CJ. Sorry. It was CJ.
What?
It was CJ. Yeah,
it was
CJ,
already stupid, man.
CJ, Collins, Nurk, and 2 for... Or not Nurk. CJ... Sorry. Let me start over. CJ, Collins, Ant, and 2 firsts for Dinwiddie and LeVert.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Neither one of those guys are better defenders than CJ. So what's the point? What's the thought process there? What the
his thought process, he said, I love my wings who can handle the ball. That's what he said.
Bro, he blocked me just now. What did I even say that got me blocked, man? That guy's weak as hell. He literally blocked me. Yeah, I didn't say anything bad, bro.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything bad. He blocked me.
Say?
He blocked me in the last 15 minutes, man.
You gotta say what you said.
I swear to God I didn't. I'm looking. I swear to God that I didn't say anything bad. At all. At all. Guarantee. We can go back through my replies. He blocked me in the last 30 minutes, bro.
Isn't he on a postgame show?
Yeah.
Oh, he blocked me too.
Yeah, see? Weak ass. Your watered down post-game show, man. Why'd you block me, bro? I didn't say anything bad towards you. I said, oh, maybe it's the tweet that I said, people really base coaching based off paper. Quoting, our roster isn't as good as theirs, so nothing Stotts can do, and anyone who says anything else is an idiot, because that's what people were saying. I said comical, and somebody tagged Dan Meringue on it and said cry. Maybe that's why I got blocked. I did respond. I said, because people keep tagging me in his stuff. So he tweeted something, and somebody tagged me, and I said, he's just comparing roster sheets instead of talking about what's going on in the hardwood. That's all I said. He's going to block me over that stuff when he's, like, basically called me an idiot all season. I think that's weak, but, I mean, oh well. Be hid from his crappy takes. Like, I don't care. Really do not care. That's just funny. I was just surprised. I didn't think he was like that. But that's how many of you guys are, man. They can dish it out, but they can't take it back. What did you say, Eric? You got blocked too, so what did you say, bro?
I have no idea.
What did you
don't know.
Man, you must have said something really bad, right?
I was trying to stay out of stuff with people on Twitter. I told you that before we even went on. I blame Scalabrini. He's the one.
Yeah, he's the one who tagged me. Okay, yeah. What did you?
Both of us in here, and then I don't know. And then you responded,
yeah.
But I didn't respond to that. I didn't even do anything.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because he followed me before. But I don't know. Whatever, man. It's ridiculous. He blocked me on this post-game show. Welcome back to the Blazers Outside post-game show. For this segment, we have nothing to talk about, so I'm just going to block the Blazers Uprise, guys. Live on air.
These guys actually think it's coaching.
God, man. Evan M out there talking trash.
Is he?
Why, Ben, why are you tagging me in Aaron Fentress tweets, bro? I don't want to... See, that's what I don't get. Like, why? I don't want to read what these people have to say, and I keep getting sent stuff from people that people know I don't want to read what they have to say. And I keep getting tagged in, like, Chad Doing stuff and Aaron Fentress stuff and Dan Meringue stuff. You know, but people want me beefing with media, guys. So actually, I can't even really blame you. But there's your guys' proof that the community here wants me to beef with media guys because they tag me in everything, man.
It's weak that they can't deny anything we're saying. So their only course of action is to block us, so they don't have to look silly on Twitter when we call them out for being soft and like not being able to break down a game X and O's wise. Because not a single one of those guys, the Blazers Outsiders guys, suck it at breaking down an actual analysis of the games. Like all those Blazer media sites on Twitter, like they're all terrible at actually analyzing the game. I'm not trying to say like we're great or anything, but like at least we try, you know, like they just are like, oh, what an awesome game.
Yeah, or oh man, I wish we had personnel or what, you know, it's just the surface level stuff. But shout out Kyle Wilson for the $5 donation. He says our entire media and PDX is soft. Also, y'all owe me an apology for yesterday. My trade for CJ wasn't nearly as bad as Meringues. I forget your trade for CJ, but it can't be that bad. Maybe he's listening and on his breaks and he heard us say that trade is terrible.
It was Josh Anderson or what's his name? Josh Richardson, I mean.
Oh yeah.
And a first or something.
Hey, that's
not
as bad
didn't even work. That trade doesn't even work in the CBA. At least Dan's worked.
But, yeah, so I don't know, man. I mean, the media has always been kind of just ridiculous. Westbrook, why you tagging me in a Casey Holdall thing, bro? Stop it, please, man. Please stop. I'm tired of it. Oh my goodness. And then you have Nathan tagging me in the same Fentress post that Ben tagged me in. You guys are trolling me now. I ain't gonna... Fentress doesn't deserve me to read his words on this stream.
Westbrook, sorry we missed your second dono. Was that the one that said, since I got demonetized, you're going to make up for it?
Oh, yeah, I was trying to thank you for it, but I think Eric was kind of going on.
I was going off, dude.
Yeah. Eric didn't give me a chance, man.
I figured that was the type of dono that you wanted me to just keep going, right? Not stop to read you.
I got to read all of them, man. Got to read all of them. No, I don't. Just so everybody else knows, I'm not trying to miss any of them.
All right, Portlandia, if Stotts is the top 5 coach, name one thing he's done this series to to better his team or give his team a better chance to win.
For whoever said we should have went after Porzingis, they wanted cap space, and we didn't have the ability to provide New York that much cap space. They wanted cap space for free agency. That was a big reason. So Dallas just sent him a bunch of expiring contracts. We didn't have expiring contracts like that, so that's the thing. A lot of people think, oh, we should have just done this and done that, and it wasn't actually possible. So then they blame Olshey.
Kyle Wilson, Shervins, and Productions, just don't attack him. Like we'll talk to him on stream as long as he doesn't get,
or we will ignore him.
but I mean, as long as he's not like attacking other people, like it's fine. Just don't like we're gonna have to hide your comments, so there's no point in saying the stuff you guys are saying.
Yeah.
He consistently has us contending. No championship yet, but he always has us close. So you don't have a single X and O thing?
Sorry, Em, I have to ban you for 5 minutes. You can't be like personally insulting people. I've said that too many times before in regards to you, bro. Come on, man. But no, I mean, give us X's and O's reasons, man. That's what basketball comes down to. In the playoffs, it's a game of adjustments. It's about X's and O's.
So did you watch the TNT broadcast or the NBC Northwest?
I ain't watching NBC Sports Northwest. I don't enjoy listening to Jordan Kent, to be honest.
So did you see the times where they had Stotts mic'd up in the huddle?
On TNT, yeah.
Did you? Someone said like, he said one time, like, oh, you're doing great. Just keep on the defensive pressure and like it'll eventually work or something like that. And then like just keep shooting. You'll eventually make your shots.
It was bad, bro.
That was like, I'm paraphrasing.
It was like rah, like soccer mom type of stuff. Like, you guys just got to keep up the intensity and make some shots. And they can't like share like actual X's and O's stuff. So, but still, it's just like the stuff he's saying. It's just like, come on, man. Your team is getting absolutely crapped on and you can't light into them a little bit. You can't, like, that's the thing. It's like, we can come out down 15-0 not trying and he won't get mad at anybody. That's the thing. He's too much of a player's coach. Even players' coaches, at the right moments, if they're good, know when to get on the team. He doesn't get on the team.
Starting to come around to your point about the coaching earlier. If he would have done something at halftime and we came out and not, went from, what were we down at halftime? Like 25 or something. And then all of a sudden we were down 40.
Yeah.
So you didn't do anything at halftime. It obviously didn't work. So so I agree now that there's no point in them being in the game if you didn't make a run at the beginning of the third quarter. If they would have kept it within 20 or so at the beginning of the third, then maybe. But yeah, just stupid.
I got a reply to this thing on Twitter. Somebody just said Olshey has 3 bad drafts in a row. The draft where he got Simons and Trent was not a bad draft at all. You got Trent for that value. Again, getting one rotation player out of the 24th and 37th overall pick, getting a player as good as Trent is out of those 2 picks is a good draft. Even if the other guy doesn't amount to anything.
So Kyle Wilson, thanks for the $5 donation. He says Terry Stotts is like Mike Riley at OSU, a huge rah-rah guy with limited X and O knowledge and couldn't inspire confidence, couldn't go over the top. Yeah, and look what happened when Mike Riley tried to step up to Nebraska and was in way over his head. And that's what I always say. Stotts actually wouldn't be bad if you just made him like a CEO type coach and with no responsibility other than to handle the relationships on the team. And then you basically leave the offense up to one of your assistants and the defense up to one of your assistants, like what happened with him when he won a ring on Dallas's staff in the Dirk Nowitzki year. But that's the only way I think Stotts could succeed as a coach in the NBA is if he just had the responsibility of running the franchise while other people ran the specific parts of the offense and defense and he gave them full responsibility. But the problem is Stotts will not relinquish that control. So we're kind of screwed there. Even if he hired a defensive minded coach, Stotts would still override him on his schemes. Mark, please don't spam chat.
I just had somebody try and diss me saying I'm from Vancouver on Twitter. my opinions like somehow are invalid because I'm from Vancouver.
Who is that?
I'm just gonna reply back his avatar picture to him because it's like Blake,
Boston wife?
Blake something.
Yeah, but Portlandia, that's my Portlandia. That is my point. Is that Jackson was smart enough as a coach to say, "Hey, Tex Winter, you run your offense. I'll just control things and be the Zen master and do everything." So that's exactly what I'm saying. So that's a good coach knows when his system isn't working. He knows when to make adjustments and make changes to his thing. Coaches cannot succeed. This is why you're seeing Malone struggle in the playoffs. You have guys who are so stuck in their systems and they will work no matter what. It's just the players that need to execute better, and they over and over again. Bosnia Herzegovina, please stop spamming chat. Just type what you want to say one time. Do not do it over and over. It will be forced to hide you or put you in timeout. But the coaches who are stuck in their ways and refuse to adapt or change their styles when the NBA changes, or when a different series, like from series to series, you're playing a whole new team. But Stotzley has the same offensive strategy and same defensive strategy that he did against Denver that he does against the Golden State Warriors. And he's known, because the Warriors have beat us 3 times in the playoffs, he's known that those strategies don't work very well, yet he still does them. And that's the sign of a bad coach. So, you need a coach that's willing to adapt and willing to listen to the assistants and willing to give up some responsibility when things aren't going well. And Stotts does none of those things. He's too stubborn. He's too rigid. He refuses to change. He thinks if you just keep running the same thing out there, it will work because it worked in game 17 of the regular season. And it's just a dumb way to coach. It just does not work anymore. You have to have inventive guys who are willing to change and willing to try new things. And that's the only way you can work.
Well, I'll say it on there.
You can be good for a while doing that, or you can have some success. Like Stotts has good players on his team, so he can make the playoffs. But he still shouldn't have even barely made the playoffs this year. We shouldn't have been one shot from LeVert away from missing the playoffs entirely. And if Dame's hurt, we probably want that shot to go in now.
Yeah, man, Portlandia, bro. I'm getting. I know I shouldn't even respond to this, but bro, let's talk basketball. Let's talk about what happens within the lines, man. You're talking without Reese and Collins. Let's tell me who our best bench guys are. Bro, if you think our bench guys are struggling and not executing something that Stotts sets up well for them, explain that. Explain it in the context of what's happening on the court instead of you're looking at the roster sheet and, this doesn't look too good, so Stotts must be good. That's just surface level, broad statement type of stuff. Let's actually talk about what's happening on the floor. You literally just said, I would be stuck in my system too if we made the West Finals again too. Bro, we have gone on that. That is just you looking at a box score oh, look, we won these games and made the Western Conference Finals. No, let's talk about what actually happens and what has happened on the floor, bro. I get tired of that type of stuff. I'm cool if you disagree, if you at least just talk basketball. But if you don't talk basketball and you just make broad statements, that's the type of stuff that gets annoying to me. We talk basketball here. We go in depth. That is what my channel is based on. If you want to just make broad statements, then this might not be the best platform for you, which is fine. But we like to go in depth and talk basketball. So if you want to disagree and stuff, then talk basketball. That's for anybody who disagrees with us. I like when people disagree with us and actually talk basketball. There are a couple people who come in here. Jake Carey is the most notable one who I really actually respect his basketball knowledge, even though he's a lot higher on Stotts than us. But that's because he actually talks basketball. So I like having disagreements where we can actually go in depth talking about basketball. I actually like those disagreements because that's actually a conversation. The type of stuff that is just... I start talking about basketball and then they make a broad statement. We're oh, well, then who would you want? Or, well, we made the conference finals last year. Or, well, look at their roster. That type of stuff. No, I'm trying to talk basketball. That's all I'm trying to do. That's what this channel is.
See, people like that, this is the exact person they are. You guys are dumb. You should have kept Whiteside. We should keep Whiteside at the trade deadline, all leading up to the trade deadline. We'd have the best backup center in the league once Whiteside comes back. or once Nurk comes back, and then all of a sudden we're in the playoffs, and he's like, "What's that supposed to do? He doesn't have a good bench." Well, he has the guy you wanted to keep because, like, you thought he was an awesome center, so. It's just like people want to have it both ways.
Yeah.
But he's not being disrespectful. He's just saying.
People are saying I'm feeding the troll. No, that just goes for anybody. That's why I'm talking on it, because that goes for anybody in here. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be like, oh, you're not welcome in here if you disagree. I don't want that. So I don't want that. Leo, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just making a general statement. We also didn't win game 1 because of offense. We had 100 points, so we didn't win that because of our offensive system. That we actually played good defense that game, but they also missed a ton of easy shots. I kind of fooled myself into thinking, okay, we held them to 93, but part of it was they missed a lot of shots that they're hitting now. We did play good defense. It was kind of a little bit of both, which is kind of what we need more of this series. But, so is there a chance Dame plays game 5? Who do we start? It doesn't matter. Jalen Horde at point guard at this point.
Have his Sacramento game like 3 times in a row and we win the series. Well, yeah, the only... I'm not even going to say... Never mind. I can't even say that. I was gonna say you have a chance to see CJ lead a team, but I don't even want that at this point because we're so shorthanded, and we only brought 13 freaking people. I said that before we even went to Orlando. Do not do this. You have a free roster spot to take people for depth things, and I knew we're screwed when Dames got hurt, but when people like Zach Collins and Nasir Little get hurt, you could have had depth to compromise for that, and then our bench wouldn't have been so bad. So like. There were options out there to get some depth on this team. We could have taken 4 more players to Orlando, and we chose to only carry 13, and now 3 of them are hurt. CJ's playing hurt, so that's another one. So we're down to like 9 people who are actually healthy on this team, and like one of them, those Mario and Jalen Horde and Jalen Adams, that's 3 of them. So we're down to like six guys that are actually healthy on this team, that could actually play.
There is an article that was posted on Trevor Ariza about an hour ago. Should I read it?
Yeah.
It's an ESPN article. It says NBA playoffs from afar, watching Lakers Blazers with Trevor Ariza. It's from Jackie McMullen. The article says it's excruciating to watch, but Trevor Ariza does anyway. He hasn't missed a minute of his Portland Trail Blazers team competing in the Orlando, Florida bubble, and he screamed so vociferously and triumphantly when the Blazers put the finishing touches on their shocking Game 1 victory over the Los Angeles Lakers. His daughter, Taylor, ambled up the stairs of their Los Angeles home and pleaded, "Daddy, can you not be so loud? Everyone in the neighborhood can hear you."
That's like me.
Bro. that I'm related to that. And she's right, Ariza said. My voice is still hoarse from Game 1. Ariza, in his 15th season playing for his 9th NBA team, agreed to remotely watch Game 4 of his Blazers first-round battle along with Jackie McMullen, the ESPN reporter. Ariza is acutely aware the clock is ticking on his career, which has been an all-encompassing obsession playing a game he felt certain he couldn't live without. Yet when Ariza made the heart-wrenching decision to opt out of playing alongside his Portland teammates because he was presented with the opportunity to have 30 days of visitation with his oldest son, Taj, Tajh, I guess that's Taj, who he had not seen in nearly a year due to custody issues, so he hadn't seen his son in over a year. Ariza has no second thoughts about his choice, but that doesn't mean life outside the bubble has been easy. He has heard the pundits lamenting his absence, as he is a big, strong veteran player who could have helped handle Lakers forward LeBron James. And then Ariza is quoted as saying, "Man, the word hard doesn't even begin to describe it. This is what I was born to do, to play basketball. I've been doing it my whole life, and to know my team has a chance to compete for a championship and I'm not with them, it burns me up on the inside." And yet he insisted the time with his son was worth it. Tosh is 12 years old, named after Trevor Ariza's baby brother, who in 1996, when he was just 6 years old, plunged 30 floors. Yeah, that's tragic. Basically, he lost his younger brother, and then named his son after him. Trevor and his mother were at a gymnasium watching his stepfather compete in a basketball game at the time. His son Taj is learning Spanish, plays the piano, and loves to hoop. He can shoot, has a decent handle, can run all day. So So yeah, this is just kind of going in on like Ariza being
So-
torn and Ariza being, yeah.
So for a minute there, I thought you were going to say that like he thought he was going to miss it a lot, but he didn't. But then he does. So I'm kind of confused.
Yeah. I think it's like he has. I can keep going. It is a very long article. I was only about a fourth through it. If you guys want to read that story, it's on ESPN. But from what I can tell, this is something key. When Taj recently returned to North Carolina, Ariza jumped on the phone and dialed up the Blazers to see if he could rejoin his team. I asked if there was any way, Ariza said, but the league wouldn't allow it. They made that clear when I opted out. Which is lame, because you allow people to come back when they were at the strip club the night before in Lou Williams.
Well, I think he could have not opted out, but not gone too, and then had to quarantine once he came back. But he fully opted out. So
yeah, it's just I don't understand that, man. I don't get it. But it sounds like he's a really good father. So, he has lived vicariously through his Zoom calls with teammates and coaches. Daily texts from Lillard and guard CJ McCollum have kept him apprised of locker room antics and stories in the bubble. He often offered pearls of wisdom to young big man Wenyen Gabriel, who Terry Stotts hates now and doesn't want to play, so it's pointless. But Ariza predicts that Gabriel has a long, fruitful NBA career ahead of him. It's strange he conceded watching his Spurs on television. So it sounds like he misses it. It sounds like he's still a big part of the team. I do expect him back next year. I saw some Blazer fans saying, like, he didn't want to play with us, so screw him, blah, blah, blah. That's ridiculous, okay? Yeah. That type of stuff is ridiculous. He wanted to be there for his son. He wanted to he hadn't seen his son in a year, man, and he's a parent, family first. Like, I have no problems with those priorities. That I think he has his priorities in the right place. Sounds like he's a great father. Somebody who wasn't a great father might not make the same decision as him. So why are we dissing on him and hating on him for being a good father? It doesn't make sense to me.
All right, Portland, yeah, that's over the line. I mean, he's got a custody battle with his ex, so it's not his fault that he wasn't able to see his son, and this was the only time he could do it. It's called custody battle for a reason. He's trying to get more custody, but that's not in his hands, it's in a judge's hand.
Mm-hmm. Just because you're in custody doesn't mean you're not a great father. That's more of an issue between him and the mother of his child,
I mean,
not
I don't know how
works
he's a
out.
father, but like most people would not have opted out just to spend a month with a kid,
So he should be applauded for that. Because that's the thing. It's like people will be like, wow, he quit on the team just to spend a month with blah, blah, blah. But then there'll also be the same people that will like talk trash to people for not being good fathers. It's like, okay, what do you want? I want, like, if every child had a great father, this world would be a better place in 20 years. You know what I mean? So, like, that the priorities that Ariza has are straight. And it is nice. I don't know. Like, I was kind of wondering how checked out he was. It is nice to hear that he was still, like, communicating daily with the team, was checked in, was missing the game of basketball, like, wants to be a part of this team. Because at his point in his career, he's played everywhere, and he's won a championship. Like, I'd understand if he was checked out.
When he showed up in Portland, his, like, initial press conference or whatever it is being interviewed, he seemed like he couldn't care less whether he was here or not, or like what team he was playing for. He was just like going through the motions and was going to show up and play for whatever team, but like he didn't really care. But that's the power of Dame, man. I think like and like playing with a guy like Melo, he probably respects for playing against him for like 15 years or however long they've both been in the league. So it's got to be cool that he actually wanted to be a part of the team still despite opting out. It's good to hear, and that's gives me a little bit of hope for next year as long as Dame's okay.
Yep.
Because if he's like locked in, like he's a good player. Like I know he's aging, but that's why like we just need him to last like another year, play well next year, and bridge the gap between a guy like Little being ready or like whoever we bring in. But we have some options to replace him. But I do think we need him for another year.
Mm-hmm. He would definitely help the team. That's the thing that I can't stand about people who like go off on anybody who has any criticism for for Stotts is, like, they oftentimes say, oh, the blame isn't all on Stotts, but that nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that Ariza wouldn't help this team. Like, the thing is, there's nothing we can do about that. We can change what we do from a philosophy and a game plan standpoint. We have control over that. Instead of lamenting over the things that we don't have control over, let's focus on the things we do have control over. And there's a lot of things that Stotts can do in the series that he hasn't done, or there's a lot of, mistakes Stotts has made. From changing the starting lineup to not changing his defense to the offense he runs, like that stuff is all controllable right now. So we're going to focus on the controllable aspects instead of just, there's nothing we can do. We don't have the personnel, which is a non-competitive mindset, right? Yeah. You think Damian Lillard's like, man, I just wish we had Ariza. We're screwed. Like, you think he's thinking like that?
I mean, he probably thinks that sometimes, but
I'm sure he wishes he had him.
He also thinks we should still win even without having him.
It's all about having a competitive mindset, I think. And the thing is, with Blazer fans, I feel like they, not all of them for sure, but I feel like our fan base, a lot of people just have such a non-competitive mindset compared to other fan bases, and it's just strange.
We've made this point over and over again. A personnel is not an excuse, because everyone who has watched a Blazer game this season would agree with the statement that the personnel does not fit Stotts' game plan, right? Mm-hmm. Like, even Stotts' biggest detractors who say that it is personnel and not Stotts would agree that Stotts doesn't have the personnel to run his system, right?
Yeah.
A good coach would then try to find a system that worked for the players he does have, not just be like, what can I do? I don't have Ariza. I don't have anyone that works in the drop scheme. It's not working because of the roster I have, not because it's crap system. Like that's the mindset he seems to have in these press conferences. It's exactly how he's coaching, and that's the problem I have. He's not saying like, I know it sucks we have all these injuries and people are hurt, but I have to find a way to make this roster win these games, and we have to take care of business, so I'm not having to play Dame 40 minutes. Instead he's like, oh, I read a study and it said that Dame would be fine playing 40 minutes a game because Wilt Chamberlain did it like 80 years ago, and so it's all good, and we just have to make shots, and if we do that, we'll win. That's like all he says ever. So like, just so frustrating. Like, you have to at least try to fit the personnel you have, and we've said this over and over again as well, that if he was at least trying to fit the personnel to different things, or trying different things, just throwing everything out there to see if anything works, that we would have given him credit for that. We gave him credit on this show after game one for throwing some different looks out there. But we also said that in the playoffs, you can't just do that one game and be satisfied with it, and that's exactly what happened. We thought we had won the series after game one, and we didn't need to do anything different, just play the same way, even though we barely won, scoring 100 points, and we just didn't do anything since game one. So, like, we should have. You need a coach that can adjust to the playoff series, both within game and from game to game, and that's not happening in this series, and that's why we're losing. And we might not have won anyway, but we definitely don't have a chance without making some adjustments. And you saw that tonight. We had no business even being on the gym tonight.
Yeah. So how I was talking earlier about people keep tagging me and stuff that
no, everyone's doing it. You should.
I had somebody in the group chat recommend a Stevie Cousins article about trades and said react to this on stream.
What?
It's literally everybody in media. I can't stand. I keep getting tagged and stuff. I assume he was saying to troll it, but yeah. I mean, we're almost in trade mode. I'm gonna skim through it just to see how bad they are. Poor they're horrible. They're horrible. It's horrible. It's terrible. All
right, now you have to read it.
It's horrible. Bro, the first freaking trade is trading Trevor Ariza in the 16th overall pick for Thaddeus Young, Chandler Hutchinson in the 44th pick. Bruh. Ariza and a pick for Thaddeus Young and Chandler Hutchinson. That's terrible. What the
I'd rather
hell
have
are
a
you
Risa
talking
than
about?
Thaddeus Young.
He's a Bulls fan, by the way. The guy who runs Rip City Project, not Mello. Mello Ferguson is cool, right? Marlo, or yeah. I think it's like Mello Ferg. It's Mello Ferg in his handle, so I accidentally said that. Marlo Ferguson is cool. Steven Cousins, I can't stand that guy. He's a Bulls fan who is one of the guys who runs Rip City Project. So of course he comes up with a trade that screws the Blazers, and is something good for the Bulls. Ariza and a first-round pick for Thaddeus Young, Chandler Hutchins, a second-round pick. That's terrible. That's disgusting.
Oh, where's T-Butt when you need him? He would love that trade.
The second trade is a little better, I guess. Ariza Simons in the 16th overall pick for Kelly Oubre, but
that was going around Twitter today too.
It's not.
Actually, it was Ariza, Collins, and a first for.
That's
for Oubre.
Disgusting. Kelly Oubre's overrated, man. Kelly Oubre, I'm not sure would be a better fit than Trevor Ariza. Kelly Oubre shot 35% from three this year, but before that, he had always been worse. He's a career 33% three-point shooter. And I'm not sure how he is as a defender. I don't think he takes us to the next level.
I agree with Joel. If we can get McCall though.
Yeah, give us McHale instead. Then the third one is another.
He fits in our TPE.
The third one is another Bulls trade, which is Ariza, Simons, and our first-round pick for Larry Markin and Felicio in the 44th pick. Why would we want guys that can't defend? Why would we trade our one big 3-and-D guy for a guy who can't defend for shit?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. Anyway,
I don't know why
I reacted to it.
Either.
Thad Young, man. Thaddeus Young. Bro, why do people think he's good? I don't get it. I really don't get it.
He was okay 3 years ago.
Yeah. Bro, Damian Lillard Brazil on Twitter made a good tweet. Sadly, for very likely the 7th year in a row, we will lose 4 out of our final 5 games to end the season. Every series that we've gotten knocked out in the past 7 years, we've lost in 4 or 5 games. We haven't lost a series in 6 or 7. Which, obviously, it's nice that we didn't lose the Denver series in 7 last year, but still, we don't go out with fire. We go out getting destroyed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, any trade ideas for Thad Young, I throw up in my mouth at. Of course, Portlandia says that's a good trade. Thad Young is garbage.
Gee, it would be nice to have some contracts to be able to trade this summer.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe I should have traded Whiteside for seeing if they would have traded Gorgie Jang, because Gorgie Jang is on a kind of a bad contract, $17 million a year, but for 2 years. So maybe they would have traded him for Whiteside's expiring or something like that. Work something around that with Memphis. They would have freed up $17 million this summer. And right now we don't have cap space anyway. Gorgie Jang probably would have been a better backup than Whiteside. Gorgie Jang would fit better next to Nurkic right now. Gorgie Jang's more of a power forward than Whiteside is. He can shoot better. And he has more lateral quickness. And that's a contract that we could trade this summer. But that's the problem. Every trade is going to be like Ariza for something. Because we don't have other contracts to trade.
So Portlandia says we win the close series, we overachieve a lot like last year. So what's the problem this year? When we lose all the first round losses we've had, those are underachieving, but last year was an overachieve. So which is it? Because that's contradictory, man.
Yeah. See, but when we lose the first round, oh, well, we just lost to a good team. No, but okay, we're underachieving if we lose in the first round. If we lose in 5 in the first round. I don't care who we're playing. If the whole season as a whole is an underachievement if we lose in the first round. 100%. Sign and trade Nathan with the devil face. Yeah, you better put that devil face because Nathan watches us enough to know.
Thankfully you put that or I'd be triggered right now. Yeah, 2020 sucks.
Yeah. It is what it is. Hopefully get
Thanks for the compliment, Jay.
Get something good out of it.
Y'all ass.
Our ass? You all?
He said y'all ass.
Yeah, like
I think you and me, yeah.
Yeah, like your ass. Like your ass, you know.
Oh, Ben.
Like I would say like y'all shirts are blazery or something. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway.
Ben is like totally trying to trigger me in Discord and in here lately with his sign and trade stuff. Like he's not paying attention to any streams or anything. I know, Ben, I know. Just joking with you too.
You gotta put that devil face, man, or else Eric will automatically get triggered because... And I kind of get triggered too, because people throw out we could just sign and trade Whiteside somewhere. No, it doesn't work like that. People don't understand how sign and trades work, and they act like they do, and it's funny.
And it's always someone making like $30 million or something. Like they're going to want Whiteside for $30 million. Like, get real, idiots. Like, God, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sign and trade Whiteside for Otto Porter Jr. because the Bulls would want to pay Whiteside $30 million a year just to frickin' trade us Otto Porter Jr. for nothing. Like,
can we react to Stott's post-game interview? Eric won't be able to hear it.
I can put the sound on the...
True. Okay, yeah, just mute it. Sure, let's get triggered.
Dionysus, real quick, I want to get to one of his questions because he's been asking a lot. He says, do you think this series beatdown will shake things up? And the answer is nope, because now that Dame's hurt, since Zach got hurt, Hood got hurt, Ariza opted out, they have the built-in excuses. It's not going to change anything because
there is a huge...
Olshey gave all these guys extensions last summer. He gave Stas an extension. He gave Dame an extension. He gave himself an extension. He gave CJ an extension. So all those guys are sitting pretty. And Olshey would screw that up if he went to Jody and was like, oh, we need to fire Stotts, or we need to trade CJ. Do you approve this trade or whatever? She's going to be like, why did we sign him to an extension then last summer? Like, why are we doing this? So it'll look bad on him. So he's just going to keep his mouth shut and not do anything but things that he can add to the team or like small changes and stuff like that. So yeah, to expect things to get shooken up like a CJ trade or a Nurk trade or like a coaching change, like none of that stuff's going to happen. It's going to be all like secondary stuff to that.
Time to get triggery.
But I will say I still think there is an opportunity to build a very good roster for next year, assuming Dame can play. If you make some of those secondary moves as good moves, I'll just say that. Like there is an opportunity to be really good next year. But yeah. All right, we're ready.
Are you? All right, let's get triggered. Let's do it. Display capture. Is that full screen? Yes, that's a full screen. That is actually how my computer screen looks. So all that left space I used, that right space is for Eric and his I was gonna say big forehead, but that's kind of the diss towards me. So anyway,
you can make fun of me, dude. I had some person I was arguing with on Twitter just like posted my, like you did to that guy, just posted my Twitter.
Somebody did that to me.
Someone did that to me and said like, God owes you an apology. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm good looking or whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me. He thought he like burned me so bad. I don't even care.
Bro, this interaction in my picture, he thinks I'm wearing a headband. Bro, so he said he's from Vancouver trying to talk trash, and I posted oh, you can already see it. He's from Vancouver. And he said, enjoy your 4 points at local 24. He said, Shrek looking ass MFer. So I said, I can tell you've never had any female attention in your life. Like, this is just kind of like jokes at this point. Like, I don't know. I'm not taking this that seriously. When somebody attacks me like this, I just kind of give it back. I just treat people how they treat me, to be honest. So he said, you ain't a player. Take your headband off, LOL. It's not a headband. That's literally a hat. How is that not a hat? It says Blazers right there, man. People be blind. Anyway. He called me a Shrek looking ass.
M. Sotolo 503 says, Eric, it's always next year. But this year was, I mean, yeah, we should have been better than we were, but like we always knew that this year was going to be really tough to make a deep run considering our injuries if we weren't in a position in March when all those players were healthy. And we were so far back going into the bubble that it was really hard just to make the playoffs, let alone make a deep run this year. And you can see now that the team's gassed because we made it so hard on ourselves. But like this was never going to be the year to make a run, and it's unfortunate because it was following a great year last year. But like, I'm not saying every year it's wait till next year, but this particular year was that case for sure.
All right, you ready to get triggered?
Yep.
I love when people like insult me on Twitter, but it's like not that serious. It's just some random person where I can have fun dissing them back, where I don't have to like hold the reins, back, and I can kind of be a little wild with it. Let's watch Terry freaking Stotts. How about that? This will be fun. I'm so excited for this.
Probably no news till tomorrow, Emerson.
Take it whenever you're ready.
Here we go.
Coach, first question is coming from Aaron Fentress with the Oregonian.
Coach, can you give us any update on Damian Lillard?
Only that obviously he hurt his knee, and I believe he's getting an MRI.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Next question is coming from Casey Holdall with Trailblazers.com.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna throw up. Damn, how long's Casey gonna take for his question?
All right, we'll come back to Casey. Next question is coming from Jason.
Terry?
Holdall with Trailblazers.com.
That's so awesome.
He always takes forever, yeah.
All right, we'll come back to Casey. Next question is coming from Jason.
Terry?
And then there he is.
Coach, just how would you describe the position you guys are in right now?
Not good.
That's so funny. Holy hell. He's finally back, and there's another, 5-second pause. Good job, Casey.
What kind of question is that from Quick?
Was that from Quick, or was that from Casey?
No, Quick. I think they went to Quick instead of Casey, I think.
Yeah, somebody said, Terry, when they said that, so I thought that was Casey
We'll come
chiming
back
in.
to Casey. Next question is coming from Jason.
Terry?
That's so awkward.
Coach, just how would you describe the position you guys are in
That is
right
from
now?
Quick.
Not good. It's you're down 1-3. It's a tough position against a good team. So, we'll regroup. It's one game at a time. You can break out all the cliches, but we know what we're up against when you're down to a good team 3-1. So we got to battle.
So insightful.
That was a dumb question.
Yeah, it was. I'm just kind of laughing at the. We know
Oh, you
what
just
we're up
lost it down
against.
3-1. How do you feel, Coach?
What do you expect Terry to say? Yeah, some other coaches would be like, "We played terrible. We need to step it up, or our season's done." Which is what I wish Terry would say. But also take a responsibility and say, "I could have coached a better game. We played terrible. Everyone needs to step it up collectively, or our season will be done." If he said that, I would be applauding him. But no, it's just not good. We know what we're up against, though, but it's not good. Okay. You want to say something before I restart?
Yeah, so Benjamin Kyle Lee says, did you guys talk about Dame getting hurt yet? I did. Dame got hurt?
Yeah, we have talked about Dame getting hurt, man. Hopefully it's not bad.
All right, Casey, go ahead.
Terry, how would you describe the start you guys had tonight? Obviously, pretty, if you know. So how would you describe this? How you?
What the hell? What? So wait. So the whole pause was Casey getting together that. Oh my god, bro. We're not gonna make it through this entire thing, bro. How do you explain that start? You know, yeah, well, you know.
Terry, how would you describe the
let's
start
guess
you guys
Terry's
had
response.
tonight?
Not good. They started off very well, and I don't know. What's your response?
Well, I felt like we got some pretty good shots right at the beginning. We just didn't make them, and they made theirs, and it's hard to recover from that.
Yep. Sounds very Stotts-esque to me.
Terry, how would you describe the start you guys had tonight? Obviously, a pretty 15-0. So how would you describe?
15-0. I thought you said you know. Okay, I thought you said you know.
Obviously, Lakers were clicking on all cylinders, and our offense couldn't get anything going early. So, they played really well, and we got off to a poor start. And obviously, it put us in a big hole to begin with. So we were fighting uphill all night.
You basically guessed it. Our offense wasn't clicking, or whatever.
I didn't have the right lingo. That was he used some new terminology.
Yeah, he's expanding his vocabulary. He's evolving. I thought Casey said you know, but I played it back and he said 15-0. That's why I was cracking up. I was like, what? Oh, man. Okay, that makes more sense. That's not that bad. But when he said, I said you know, instead of 15-0.
It's still, so we've had 3 questions. Obviously, you got to ask about the name injury. But one's like, how do you feel being down 3-1? And how do you feel about being down 15-0?
Yeah, it's just like basic stuff, man. Like, Terry, what are your emotions? How are you doing emotionally? That is the news conference right now, man.
Next question is coming from Dwight James with NBC Sports Northwest.
Kill him, Dwight. Get him.
Dwight, go ahead.
What the hell is this press conference, man? How is it that hard to? Oh my god!
I think it's got to be the Zoom thing, like.
Yeah, but bro, like, look at what we're doing. Like, I mean, I don't know. It can't be that hard. It can't be that hard. I don't get it. Like, there shouldn't be that much of a delay.
NBC Sports Northwest.
Because that's like another 6-second pause right here.
Jonas Frazier says, "I thought it froze."
Same.
Okay.
I'm here. Terry, what goes into a start like that, though, in a game this important? Can you put your finger on how your players perform so poorly to get down 15-0 and 30-10 in the first quarter of a game this important?
Great question. Thank you. Dwight is the only one who asks decent questions. Like, thank you. Can you put your finger on like what exactly it is? You know, because Stas just wants to say cliche stuff.
Yep.
So, good question, Dwight.
And in the first quarter of a game this important?
I don't know. I think our preparation was the same. I don't think it was
Maybe that's your problem if your preparation was the same as the last game you lost. But anyway, let me play it for real.
I don't know. I think our preparation was the same. I don't think it was a lack of preparation. I don't think it was a lack of desire. It was just sometimes that happens. But I don't think we came out with a poor focus. I don't think we came out with poor energy. It was just one of those things. Like I said, the Lakers got it going, and we had trouble scoring early, and after that we get down 30-10, and then we were going back and forth. But I can't explain it. It's not like it was a game in the middle of January where we weren't ready or we were tired or anything like that. It's just I think sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that happens.
Next question is coming from AJ McCord with Coin 6.
Coach, what is it going to take to change the results for Game 4 that you haven't been able to do these last 2 games?
Play 48 minutes. Did you say?
Bruh, that's going to be your adjustment. Hopefully the guys play for 48 minutes. Eric, I can't with this guy.
I know. I'm done after tonight. No, like obviously with my ranting, but
Yeah.
These last 2 games.
Played 48 minutes. Did you say last 4 games or last 3 games?
I think I actually said 2, but I meant the last couple of games, the ones that you've lost.
Okay.
Why are you nitpicking? Shut the hell up, bro. You know what she's trying to say. You get these freaking softball questions, but then if you ever get the chance to, like, nitpick something that's, like, not said perfectly, you do it. You did it last year with, like, Ennis Cantor. Like, quit being an asshole, man. God, that pisses me off. You already get the softest questions in the entire league, but, like, why? Like, instead of answering her question when you know what she's saying, you start, like, nitpicking, trying to, like, find, like, something wrong with how she phrased it. Like, it pisses me off. Do you have any reaction to that? Like, that actually pisses me off.
yeah, he gets defensive for no reason. Like, there's no reason to get defensive with her. He knows what she freaking meant.
Why do people like this guy so much?
Yeah, the other thing is, he wanted her to say all 4 games so he could correct him. Well, actually, we won game 1. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Oh, my goodness.
Played 48 minutes. Did you say last 4 games or last 3 games?
I think I actually said 2, but I meant the last couple of games, the ones that you've lost.
Okay. We have to play really well for 48 minutes. I mean, in game 3, we played a good game for 3.5 quarters, and that's what you want against a good team, is to be in a position to win a game in the 4th quarter against them.
But, like, what do you got to do to play a good game? Like, it's all just, like, surface level cliche stuff. Like, we have to play a good game. Okay, what exactly do you have to do better?
So to do that, we need all 48. Whether it's they're capable of making big runs. Obviously, they're a good team. So that's why we have to remain as consistent as we can throughout the game.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Coach, what message would you like to drive home to your team before Game 5?
I'll decide on that probably tonight and tomorrow.
Final question is coming from Dwight James with NBC Sports.
Terry, do you have some kind of rule that you go by in terms of when you remove players in a 30 or 40 point deficit situation? What goes into that decision?
He's the only one who asks good questions, is Dwight. Only one.
Generally, I like to give them a chance to play through the 3rd quarter and give it.
Actually, given how defensive he got last time, I think he realizes he needs to not get defensive this time.
True.
Because Dwight phrased it better for him.
That decision.
Generally, I like to give them a chance to play through the 3rd quarter and give it a chance. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Obviously, Dame got hurt with 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. I think pulling the plug is not the right thing to do. Being respectful to the players and how hard they're working out there. This is the playoffs, and you don't see too many teams pulling the plug in the 3rd quarter. And I know it's there's always an anxiousness to pull it out, but I think you have to put yourself in the place of the players and everybody involved, that the competitive nature of it. So, to answer your question, in general, I like to give them a chance in the 3rd quarter to cut the deficit, and if it's not there by the end of the 3rd quarter and they've given all they've gotten, then that's the time. But so that's a long answer to a short question.
So never before the end of the 3rd. They could be down $1 million, but maybe they could cut that deficit to 990,000 or whatever the hell. Like, God, man, it doesn't matter. Apparently, like, you knew you lost the game at that point.
Thanks, Coach.
Anyway,
Thanks,
that's
Coach.
the
We'll
only
wrap it there.
questions he got answered. Oh, there's come back. Yeah, I mean, that's the feeling. You okay?
Yeah. Jack H has a great point.
What?
When Stotts was asked what the message was, He has to wait to see if Dame's playing or not because he can't say Dame save us without.
Oh my goodness, man!
I do need a hug, man. Kevin, I need a hug.
I hope he steps down at the end of the season. I hope he says, you know what, I want to retire. I want to do the Kevin Calabria thing, and I want to step away. Bro, I would never like any move by Terry Stotts more than that. That would be my favorite coaching move.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. God, I'm so frustrated. I'm exhausted, bro. Like, I don't even, like, I don't know, part of me...
But that's the problem. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, part of me, I don't even know if I, like, you know, would rather lose in 5 or lose in 6, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think we're going to win this series. Like, obviously I'm not going to root against the team, but, like, I just kind of,
it doesn't, when it doesn't help draft status, I say try to win, no matter what. I'll always be rooting to win.
For him to run somebody else into the ground into an injury?
But I mean, like, I'd love to just see, like, I wish Little was around, because it would have been cool to see the, like, Trent, Little, and Wenyon play 48 minutes. Well, yeah. Wenyon would only be able to play, like,
what, and
14
LeBron
minutes
still flexing their face because he's a...
Yeah.
Bro, what is he doing complaining about a call that was reviewed after it got reviewed when they're up 30 and have gotten every call? That pissed me off, bro.
We haven't talked about the officiating, but in the first quarter of this game, it was brutal.
Oh, it's not so fixed. Bad. It's just refs are too biased towards stars and big markets. Like, that's what it is. That's what it is. It wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like JaVale McGee getting a bunch of calls. It was like 80 and LeBron, for the most part, getting a bunch of calls. Like, refs are too biased towards star players. It's not the game being fixed, bro. They wouldn't need to fix this game. If they were fixing games, they would want this series to go longer. That's more money for them. That's more money. So they wouldn't have... I'm not even sure they'd have the Lakers lose this game. If they were fixing it, they would probably have Portland win this game so the series could go longer. So it's not a fixed... It's not the game being fixed.
Especially with all the sweeps and
it's just crummy refs. Yeah, it's just crummy refs. That's literally all it is. It's just refs being bad at their job. But LeBron crying after that reviewed call, after it was reviewed, when they were up 28, was ridiculous. That dude whines way too much.
And I don't even know what his point was. Like, they ruled that Morris pushed someone into him, and that wasn't a foul. And, like, why was he even arguing?
Yeah, I don't understand it, man. God, I have somebody try to argue with me on Twitter, like, oh, he had 3... I don't even know. I'm not even going to get into Twitter stuff.
I did answer that, your exact question, Dionysus, right before we played the interview from Stotts. But the answer is no. There's no shakeup coming, dude.
Nope. Stotts is safe. Safe. So, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, Melo got a tech. CJ got a tech. Coach Moran got a tech. I'm sure Stotts is going to be all over him about that.
Coach Moran? You mean Moran?
Moran.
Jim Moran?
It's Moran.
Yeah, you said Moran.
No, I said Coach Moran.
Yeah, so you said Moran. I'm like, Danny Moran definitely ain't a coach.
No, Moran. Coach Moran got a T. That's what I said.
Okay.
But Stotts, I forgot who it was, but a couple years ago, one of his assistants got a tech, and he, like, lit him up on the sideline. But, yeah. Blair said I said it right. Thanks, Blair.
He said meringue, bro.
No.
I swear. Bro, this is a Carl Kuzma. Bro, Kenny Smith backed up Charles Barkley when he said Carl Kuzma. So you guys are Kenny Smith. He's Charles Barkley. I'm Shaq. I caught it. Go Carl Kuzma.
Trevin said it went back and it said he sounded like I said meringue, but I didn't.
See, sounded like it. That's all I needed. I heard meringue too. I knew what he meant though. Hey man, I gotta get on Eric for his pronunciation though. That is my thing. Also, I thought it was funny thinking of meringue as a coach. Oh man.
Remember when he was billed as like the analytics guy? Like, so is that all he can do is look at paper? He can't actually break down how that translates to the game.
I guess, man. I don't even know. I wasn't even being mean. I wasn't even being mean towards him, man. He's sensitive. Like, he's sensitive. I've always known that about him. Dan Meringue is sensitive. Like, I'm surprised I didn't get some like scathing DM about something I said that he. I wasn't going to make it in his business if I said stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like, because that's happened in the past.
And now he's
like,
blocking you.
Now he's blocking me. Like, whatever, man.
Sean, I agree. We all need psychological help.
Before anybody knew him, we knew who he was, and he wasn't the nicest guy then. And now he's still just not... He's not a nice guy, man. At all. Like me, I get into it, but trust me, if you... Like, I'm a nice guy. I'm Kawhi. I'm a nice guy. I'm a fun guy. But no, he blocked me, man. I don't block people for that stuff. Shoot, I still followed his ass. I still followed Fentress's ass. I still followed Chad. Dude, I still follow Chad's ass.
Yeah. Wait, did he block you too, Ben?
Did he block everyone? Fun guy, self-familiar. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm exhausted. I'm just tired of the same stuff. Like, we'll see how Game 5 goes, but I expect it to be the same thing. And then I guess that post-game show will wrap up our season. It kind of sucks that, like, this is how it's probably going to end. Yeah. Pray to God Dame isn't hurt too badly.
I think he liked anyone who liked someone, and that's how he blocked me, I think, because I like someone who talked back to him on that post.
Oh my god, that's so petty and weak.
Yeah,
bro.
That's weak.
So he just went down, he's like, oh, who liked this comment? Oh, block. Like, that's what I mean by he's sensitive, bro. He's always been sensitive. Like, are you kidding me, man? Oh, god. Anyway. I guess we find out about Dame tomorrow.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed. Hopefully it's a strained PCL or something like CJ. Dame ain't gonna play Game 5 though. That's the thing. Like, I am not going into Game 5 with any hope. There's no way he plays Game 5. There's no way. So
Portland, you've been told if you don't like it, go somewhere else. If we're not for you, don't be here. We tell it how it is. The Blazers suck tonight. We're not going to be here being like, oh, you know what? They gave their all. They really tried hard when they were down 15-0 to come back, and then they were down 40 all of a sudden. They gave it all they could. Like,
I like the soccer dad voice.
If you want that kind of analysis, Blazers outsiders, my man. Those two guys sugarcoat everything. They have no analysis. They just talk about like butterflies and rainbow sprinkles all show. And
sprinkle game plan, man.
Yeah, just go watch them, please. There is an audience. They have an audience for that. It's fine. Like they do what they do. They can't have actual analysis because it's an actual Blazers broadcasting thing, and Neil Olshey would fire them if they said anything bad.
Which is actually true. So yeah.
But like we freaking tell it how it is. The Blazers suck tonight. They suck.
You can't be down 40 without sucking, man.
I'm not going to be here like, you know what? I saw a lot of good things tonight that lead me to believe the Blazers will still win this series in 7. Like, if you think that after watching that game, I'm sorry, but you're crazy, dude. Like,
oh, man.
Like, they were terrible. There's nothing. They made no adjustments. Like, if they were going to make adjustments to win this series, they would have done it the last 2 games. Like, they're not going to. Like, and they might win Game 5. They might, like, Simons might come off the bench and have 40. You never know, or he might be starting because Dame's not playing. But whatever.
Hey, it very well could be him. If it is, these reactions are still entertaining. So I'm still like, but we don't hate having a troll or two or like people like that.
Thing is, like, not everyone who disagrees with us is people's mix. I mean, it's dumb, but like...
But also, it's like that man just has his guessing all the time. I wish he just didn't do the things he did, where we could just post here. We wouldn't have to freaking guess about it. But
It's either Aaron or Danny.
Danny on his break keeps coming back. Oh man.
No, there was a night we didn't have a show, and I think I was coming. I don't know if I was coming home from a game, but for some reason I was at my mom's house, and she had Blazers Outsiders on, and they were literally breaking down the quarter, like the entertainment between the quarters, and didn't say anything about the game. And then they talked about the halftime show, and then like that was their whole show, like just talking about like the half court shot and the guy who tries to shoot the ball in the barrels.
I think I saw that too because we didn't have a show or something. So I don't know why we didn't have a show. I don't know what was up that night, but I remember watching it too because I was like, you know what, I'll have a show tonight. Let me turn this on.
And
it
then
just wasn't for me.
A few games after that, it just kind of had it muted in the background while we were doing shows just to like see if it was the same. And it was the same every show. That's like all they talked about for like most of the show, like stupid halftime entertainment.
I don't know.
So like, yeah, if you want, like, I'm sure they're saying like all we have to do is win the next game, and we put some fear back into them and put some pressure on, and then all of a sudden they're scared, and we can win Game 6, and then anything could happen in Game 7.
Yeah.
That's what teams. Every time someone gets down 3-0, it's like, well, why would you give up on us? There's always a first to do something, right? Mm-hmm. Anyone can be the first to do something.
Yep. It's always that type of stuff. And then we get like destroyed again. Like going into this game, it was like, we know what we got to do. We know, like all this optimistic stuff. And then we got literally slaughtered. We got destroyed, bro. All that optimism, like, we know what we got to do. We're going to be ready for Game 4. We have a chance to tie up the series. And we come out tonight down 15-0. We were down by 40 at one point. Like, optimism like that doesn't win games.
And we'll still be cheering for the Blazers to win next game. It's not like we don't want them to win, Portland. I don't know why you're talking like that. We are not going to give up on them, or we're not going to stop rooting for them. We just have a show where we have to tell people how it is. We can't just lie to you guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good right now. Dame's hurt. Like, you don't even know if Dame's going to play, but you think we're going to win the series if he doesn't play?
I think it's extremely, extremely unlikely that Dame plays.
I'd say there's like a 1% chance Dame plays at this point.
So without Dame for the rest of this series, when we are already down 3-1 and have gotten absolutely blown out twice, you still have hope that we can win this series. I don't think that's being too realistic. Like, you could be as optimistic as you want. That's fine. But I don't think... Like, if I'm being realistic, we have no shot in this series. Like... That's just me being realistic. Like, I don't have hope in the series. You can have hope, that's fine. I just think being realistically, there's no way we're going to beat this team without Damian Lillard 3 games in a row. That's not going to happen.
Trust me, I want nothing more than for Ant to start next game and Dame's injury not to be serious, but just like miss the next game. And Ant freaking shut everyone up about how good he is and score like 40 points a game and lead us to a win in this series. Like, that would be amazing.
Oh, but you know what people would say then? Maybe we should trade Dame and start Ant.
People would be... The big question is then, why is, like... So is Stott's not using Ant right in the rest of the game? So, but yeah. And Little Mikel earlier said... that when we were down 40, the local broadcast, I was listening to the local one too. Mm-hmm. They were just discussing what was better Dame game winner. That's what they were doing for like a whole quarter,
really?
Just talking about. Like,
I can't even blame them. Like, that's at that point, what are you going to talk about? Like, right. That's what I would. I don't know. Try and be.
It was a
positive in the aspect.
What's up, Grabs? It was a joke though.
The thing is, Blazer fans are prisoner at the moment, though. Every fan base is, but that's the thing. If Ant did that, people would completely change their tune just based off one game.
There were people saying that last summer, so don't say no and say that.
Yeah. Fix that offhand, bro. I'm gonna get in the gym tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm actually not work that much this week. Personal life update. I'm going to try and get a cosigner to move out, and if I could do that, I could move out in the next week or two. If not, then once the season's in, then I'm going to start grinding on working for DoorDash and that type of thing. We'll still stream twice a week, but it's like a big time commitment to stream we're streaming like 6 times a week right now, and watching 3 or 4 Blazer games a week right now. So that's like a huge time commitment in the middle of my week, so that kind of made it harder for me to like make the money I need to move out. I wish I could use the revenue to for a rental property, because like the chat revenue, the donations and stuff have been amazing in the past month. I greatly appreciate everybody who donates. I can't like use it as like a proof of income type thing right now, so it's only like DoorDash, sadly. But I don't know. Things will get better. Things will get better. This offseason is gonna be fun. We're gonna launch a website. I'm gonna get back to making videos. Like this offseason, maybe it'll be eventful. The playoffs will be over in a month and a half. It's a more condensed playoffs. So, I don't know. Like, it sucks, but the offseason should be fun just because I'm going to work on some things in regards to the channel and that type of thing. And come back next year and just have... just things will be better with this channel in, like, multiple areas. And we'll have the website and all that. So, I'm looking forward to it.
What's up, Brady?
Brady in here? Oh, is that...
I think it's Rip City 1977, I think. But yeah, Blair Bartholomew, DoorDash is another form of Uber Eats. It's just like
that's what I do. So as like work. But this offseason will be fun after we win the championship. Yeah, I mean the championship would be amazing. But if there's ever a year to not win the championship, it's the year when there can't be fans there. So this year, I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic, bro. It's weird. I'm just kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel.
It's tough when you don't know what's happening with Dame.
Yeah.
Because
I'm scared.
If it's bad, he's for sure out all of next year. And then probably pushing.
That's where we're hoping for like the season to be delayed. But hey, if he's out all season next year, let's get a top 5 pick. Like that draft is loaded.
Is that a Money Bates?
No.
That's the year before. Who am I thinking?
There are 5 players in that draft in the 2021 draft that I think would be the top overall pick in this year's draft.
Oh yeah, Cade Cunningham and
you have Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, Jalen Johnson, and Evan Mobley. All 5 of those guys I think are phenomenal.
I have a feeling a lot of kids are going to try to reclassify or do something different.
What do you mean?
You know how they always do that, like reclassify, like their class of 2022 and they reclassify to 2021. I think somehow like a lot of people are going to graduate early and become the class of 2021 instead of 2022.
The class of 2021 can't go to the to the 2020 NBA draft since the prospects.
Well, yeah, no, I just meant
so if anything, it get
the
better.
Next few drafts after that will be like kind of weird. There's going to be a lot of shuffling.
I mean, that's the silver lining if Dame gets hurt is we could potentially get a guy who could be like a superstar, like have superstar potential. Because there are like 5 guys in this draft who I think have superstar potential. Not all 5 will pan out, but like Cade Cunningham's like a 6'7" point guard, has like a 7-foot wingspan and can shoot, and is just freaking like he is a guy who could very well be like a top 3 or 4 player in his prime. Like he's with his size and his just skill set. He like if we could somehow get him just to like be as like just that ball handler, like he could maybe play small forward. You know, he has that size. Like, I don't know. Like, the draft would be fun if we sucked, you know? That'd be a silver lining.
I don't know if... sorry, I lost my train of thought. We had a Dono, though.
Did we? Dono.
Rip City, 1977. Thanks, man. $5 donation says appreciate the real analysis, guys. Thumbs up.
Appreciate the Dono, bro. Is that actually Brady, though? Or is that somebody else? I want to make sure, like...
Yeah, you should confirm that. We were told you were Juju from Twitter, but want to make sure.
Yeah, if you're not, then I want to also make sure. I try and like line people up with like who they are on Twitter too, especially if you're donating and stuff. I like knowing who.
It says it's Brady.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Appreciate it.
Welcome to our side too.
I don't know for the dark side or the bright side, but we're a side.
I had to give him some crap about his stuff earlier in the year on Twitter.
Hey, I get it.
I was just messing with you though.
He's from my neck of the woods. Hey, man, people have been trying to diss me lately, saying I'm from Vancouver as if that's like some bad thing. I don't get it. But yeah, got back me up with that.
Other than you, I don't know anyone who has like pride from being Vancouver.
How many people do you know from Vancouver?
Like growing up in I've lived in the Portland area for 41 years, man. Like
it's better now than it was.
Be like, yeah, I'm from Vancouver. I'm so proud. It's awesome. They're all like, yeah, I'm from Kentucky. It sucks. Like, except for like certain areas of Vancouver are like crummy, but there's like really nice areas of Vancouver. Like I guess that's any suburb, but like don't no, it's
like,
cool. Like
anything in there. No, like I get it. If it's anything in there, anything around like here is like cool. Anything in the middle around this area is bleh.
Like I have no problem with you like enjoying that you're from Vancouver and being prideful about that. That's fine. Like
Brady says he loves Vancouver. Yeah, I don't know. What high school did I go to? I went to Columbia River High School. Now there's some hater who's gonna like look up my stats and say, the average 11 points per game or whatever.
And then you have to bust out the per 36.
Then I'll bust out the per 36, bro. Like per 36, my senior year, I did get like. I don't know. We blew out so many teams that it was like the Bucks this year, right? Their stats didn't look that good because they were only playing like 30 minutes a game. But like for me, it was like 32-minute quarters with a 35-second shot clock. Like my per 100 possessions would look insane, bro. My per 100 possessions would be elite.
Yeah, back in high school for me, no shot clock. You had teams like try to hold the ball at half court for like 8 minutes at a time. Court.
Brady, do you go to Green Meadows? That's where I'm going to start hooping because apparently you can hoop there right now. So that's where I'm going to start hooping.
Kyle Wilson went to Aloha. Nice.
That's where my dad went. Way back.
Your dad went to Aloha?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
See, back when I was in school, You
didn't read the rest of that. That's shitty, Kyle. Let me just say that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. Sorry, man.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at like that. He's like, he went to Aloha. And then I read the rest. It's like,
Sorry, Kyle.
Yikes.
That really sucks. My bad. But back in the day, like, Aloha and all the Beaverton schools and, like, the Hillsborough schools used to all be in the same conference. So, like, we used to play Aloha and Beaverton and Jesuit and those kind of schools. They were all in our league, so...
Yeah,
very familiar with Aloha.
Apparently Green Meadows hoops are open. It's like $78 a month, but I'm going to go there and hoop. I'm going to start hooping every day there because I definitely need to play some basketball, man. I miss it. I miss playing indoors, so I'm going to go there and hoop, bro.
Blazers just tweeted that they're getting another MRI. Inconclusive second MRI tomorrow afternoon.
Inconclusive? What does that even mean?
Well, you always hear that when someone has a knee injury. It's like team fears it's an ACL injury or whatever, but they don't know until the next day, So I think like it's hard to tell on the MRI right away because that's why I was surprised he was getting one like that minute. So yeah.
Does that make you more optimistic or more pessimistic or what?
See, I don't know, because I was wondering why they even bother with an MRI tonight, because like usually it doesn't show up right away if it's an ACL or whatever, so it could be good or it could be bad, so I don't know. Yeah. Because that's why you always have to wait for the next day for those guys when they think it's an ACL. It usually always turns out to be. But like I don't think the Blazers would come out and say we fear it's an ACL injury. Well, no, tomorrow, like a lot.
So you think it's an ACL?
No, I don't. I'm saying I have no idea what it is. That could be good or bad. Like it's. But with the Blazers, they're not going to say a word about it. So. Did you? Hey, Slothbag, did you get blocked too?
Fentress will probably block me at some point. I just quote tweeted something he said because Fentress tweeted out, "We're in agreement. Blazers need a major move or only be more of the same year in, year out. And firing Stotts won't change jack. They need another star badly, of course. But that's not really news." And I quote tweeted it and said, "Coaching doesn't matter, Aaron Fentress." Like, that's basically what I said. Coaching doesn't matter, apparently. Apparently coaching means nothing.
I was surprised he didn't block us when he unfollowed us.
Yeah. But, yeah, apparently that's the thing. Everybody that defends the coach the most makes the coach, like, so unimportant in the whole scheme of things. It's funny.
Sloth makes an hour behind, so he just got to the damn rain part. Nice. But how did you know I just said that?
Yeah, I'm confused. But rough life, man. Rough life as a Blazer fan.
But yeah, even if the season's delayed till like February or March, like you're still talking probably the whole season with the way they are overcautious with injuries.
Yeah. Shervin says Torrey Jones rebounds a Smith miss and scores inside for Columbia River. Century leads 42-37 with 24 seconds left in the third quarter. Oh, where'd you find that? Was that a tweet or some? How'd you find that, bro? Because I know that's like a legit like that. I don't know where he got it, but I know that's legit. Torrey Jones was pitching out Terry Stotts as he ran back on defense.
Torrey's like, yeah, that made me look good. Of course, that's real.
No,
that has to be a real tweet somewhere. Oh, he said it's from the Les Schwab Invitational.
Yeah, that was Les Schwab, man. That was Century. I had I don't know if it was that play, but I had one of my favorite plays in high school was 2-on-1 fast break. I was kind of trailing behind. And it was like 1-on-1 with a guy in front of me with like clock was winding down into the third quarter. I don't think it was that play because it was at the buzzer. The dude like missed the lay-in and I was running full speed and like somebody like pushed me from behind, but I was running full speed and barely got my fingertips on it, tipped it in at the buzzer, trailing a fast break. Like I was falling over while I did it because I got shoved. They didn't call it foul because the refs suck. But I wish I had footage of that because I'm a hustle guy. You guys should have known that. That was hustle play. That was the type of play Wenyan Gabriel would make, but he doesn't play. That's why I get pissed, man. You gotta reward your hustle guys with minutes, at least a little bit, especially when the rest of the team is dead. Fentress said Olshey isn't.
He's quoting you now.
Who quoted me?
Added Torrey Jones. It was nice to go out with something to prove.
Bro, he's actually finding my quotes. If I went back, like I'm so much better at like talking now, and like that would face me. But I was always so nervous. I got interviewed for the paper. What I like, he always misquoted me too, because we went undefeated in league. So like we had league wrapped up going into our last game, but like what I meant was like it was nice to like go into this game with something to play for, basically like to go undefeated. You know, we had it wrapped up, but like we could still go undefeated in league for the second year in a row. So like that's what I was trying to say. But Shervins, man, you want some Trevin stuff right now?
Zacho says inconclusive equals second opinion to make sure it is what they think they is. Yeah, that's certainly the case. Like with Zach this year. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past the Blazers. But
I feel like if he had a torn ACL, they'd be able to tell, though, right?
Everything I know about those kind of injuries that they do not show up right away on MRIs. That's why, like I said, I was surprised that they did it. So it either showed nothing or it showed something, the signs of something bad, and they need to see tomorrow if that's conclusive or not. But yeah.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
Nicholas said I stopped watching after the first half and got a heart attack when I found out Dame got a knee injury. Yeah, it's pretty scary, man.
I didn't even see it happen, man. Yeah. I mean, if he's out, like, ACLs you can come back from, like if you recover well, you can come back in, what, 10 months? 11 months? Like, that's, like, kind of like the earliest you can come back from that?
Well, like, the Adrian Peterson was, like, 9 months or something, I think, is, like, insanely fast, but, like, most humans, it's, like, a year, I think. like Clay would. I think he's just now being cleared, and that was last June. So
I'm so sick
I don't know if he would have played if like the Warriors had a chance to win the playoffs or like win the championship this year. But
we'd get to see how CJ looks like running his own team, I guess, over the whole entire course of a season. See what stats he put out.
I don't think. I don't know. Like I'm not really worried about an ACL like ruining someone's career as much as it used to be, unless it becomes a recurring thing, like a Jonathan Isaac or a Jabari Parker type situation where they do it multiple times. But I don't think like one knee injury necessarily means your career is ruined or you're never going to be the same.
Yeah. Like next season would be about let's see what CJ looks like.
That's if we're gonna tank next season, we might as well trade for Jonathan Isaac too, and then like have him and Dame rehab together, and then like we come back 2 years from now with Jonathan Isaac, a top 5 pick, and Dame, and whatever else we have left. Probably still have Nurk.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be bad.
I mean, Nurk's
might as well
still
go
young.
all in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I knew Thomas Duransky would be in.
It'd be so tough to go through another year of losing.
I know. Yeah,
and then we lose lottery and get the 5th pick or something.
We're like the Knicks and we get 8th. Yeah.
Oh God, bro.
But I remember I was saying now, like Cade Cunningham, Oklahoma State isn't eligible, so I guess it wouldn't even matter if they play the season or not for his sake. I mean, he played league games, but
Writing's not that.
Yeah. Shoot, I guess I'll load up some Cade Cunningham highlights.
It would be so weird, like, because I never thought next year we'd be talking about like tanking or whatever.
Yeah. But
welcome to the club, Nicholas Tan. Welcome to the club.
What did he say?
He said, I'm on the fire thoughts train now. The problem is he's not going to be fired. But
yeah, sadly. I don't know. You can't even tell anything from a high school mixtape, but
yeah.
Especially, like, I don't know. This wasn't even current. But let me read a scouting report instead, actually. Big guard, able to control the pace of the game, very polished prospect for his age, showing maturity beyond his years. His court vision and decision-making are elite. He's got the handles and the strength to get to his spots and manipulate the defense. Not the most bouncy prospect you'll ever see, but he can play above the rim and has the strength to finish through contact. He's got broad shoulders, good length, with a nearly 7-foot wingspan and a solid NBA frame. He's adept at scoring in the lane. For mid-range, he can hit the three-point shot. He plays like a smaller version of Ben Simmons with excellent court vision, change of pace, and body control, but he's a much better shooter than Simmons. Got great body control, change of direction, elite basketball IQ. He's the best at breaking down defenders off the dribble and finding teammates. Got a knack for scoring in the lane. Kind of repeating some stuff here. He's lethal in pick and roll situations. Stotts would freaking love that. And he just knows how to manipulate the defense. K's ideal positionless basketball player who can play on or off the ball and guard 1 through 3. Sounds like the ideal small forward for us. Sounds like what everybody wanted Nick Batum to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, and then you got him with, like, if Anthony could pan out and Trent, and that would be kind of fun long term. I don't know. Like, James, it would suck for a year, but we might come back in a better position the year after. It's just tough. But who knows? Like, Giannis could be in freaking Golden State by then or something. Like,
yeah. Well, see, the problem isn't like what's going to happen with Dame necessarily. It's the fact that he'd be 31 by the time he comes back, if that's true. And then, yeah, you're starting to talk about started on the tail end of his prime versus like right in the middle of it. It's just losing a year at the absolute peak of his powers right now is just really crappy. I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. I still think it's funny that people think I'm wearing a headband in my profile picture.
It does. Like, if you just kind of looked at it quickly, it does kind of look like it.
Yeah, I guess it does, but still.
Yeah, I might cry too, Blair. So do we trade up in this draft if Dame is out? What do you mean? Like what? I don't think so. Because this is the draft to trade up in. It would be to just naturally get a high pick next year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, probably gonna wrap up this post-game stream. Are we gonna stream tomorrow or?
I'm gonna be gone the next few days. Like I said, I'm gonna try to stream with you, but I'm not 100% sure how that's gonna work out.
All right, I might load up a stream tomorrow. I'm not sure though. We'll see. We just got bumping viewers.
We should probably stream if we find out about Dame at some point.
Yeah, that's what I figure. So that might be me crying on. No, I wouldn't cry on stream, but
I probably would.
Would you?
If we found out about it, like if we would have found out right now that Dame tore his ACL, I'd probably be pretty upset.
Wouldn't.
I don't know if I'd cry, but I would be pretty upset.
It'd be upsetting to the point where I'd just be emotionless. I feel like I don't know. When things get really upsetting for me, I just become emotionless.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that would suck. Like type of thing. So, I don't know, but. Anyway, yeah, I might stream tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Dame. Hopefully it's not too bad. This game sucked for multiple reasons.
If the stream is like, your normal 10 o'clock time, most of my family goes to sleep by then, so I could probably
You're going to do it in like a different room? Or?
Yeah, there's a little like side room where I'm staying at, so...
They won't get annoyed with you like bawling your eyes out at the top of your lungs?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, so anyway, subscribe to our second streaming channel. I'll post the link in the chat for you guys. It's right there. Click that link, go subscribe. That is where I'd be streaming tomorrow night if I'm going to stream. Shout out to everybody who donated. Shout out to all my channel members as well. Shout out to Trevin and Westbrick for being my mods and helping me out with a lot of the trolls that have happened in this playoff series. We still got one more game, but I'm pretty resigned to this being it for the season.
You're not a real fan.
Yeah, I'm too realistic to be a real fan, I guess. But we'll see what happens in Game 5. We'll see what happens with Dame.
So, I just looked it up. Before the draft, or before the new league calendar year, Jonathan Isaac would fit into the TPA, but after he would be slightly over. So we'd have, if we were going to trade for him, like for a first-round pick or something, we'd have to do it pre new calendar year.
Yeah.
That was for Tommy.
Gotcha. Okay. I was wondering.
Would you trade the 16th pick for Isaac, knowing he's out all next year? If Dame's out for sure.
Yes, but
if Dame's fine, that's tough for me.
Yeah, if Dame's out, then yes, I would. But I don't know.
It kind of sucks.
I don't think Orlando would. I don't think Orlando would.
It was a hypothetical, dude.
You didn't phrase it like I have.
I'm just teasing. That's the last thing.
You ain't post a poll on it. It ain't a hypothetical yet. That's a good poll. That's a good poll to post, though. Honestly.
I don't know why you didn't think of that. You're the best at making polls.
Because I asked you to step up last stream, and maybe this is you starting to step up with your poll making ability.
Kyle says we wouldn't play the 16th pick anyway, so you might as well trade for him. That's a great point.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I wish I could go out there and play Game 5. That'd be fun. I'd show as much heart as the rest of the team, but I'd also probably pass out within 2 minutes because I'm super ass shit.
I have a quick answer for Derek Sprower here. He says, what do you guys think of building around Nurkic? I think he is a building block, but not the block you build around, if that makes sense. So he can be a key player on a good team, a championship level team, but you don't build around him. He's not skilled enough in terms of creating shots for himself to build around. You have to have a guy who can break guys down off the dribble to build around, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, he's a great complementary player, a great great Batman or Robin to a Batman, or like a third best player on a championship team, but not someone you want to like completely just trade everyone and be like, let's build around Nurk.
Yeah. Anyway, I will probably be live over on that second channel. If you didn't subscribe to it, I will post the link again. There is probably people watching this that aren't subscribed to that second channel. The link is always in the description, but I'll post it in chat to make it easier for you guys. I'm trying to bring people over there. That's where I do my streams in between game days. Yeah, so anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll probably be live tomorrow night just because you'll have an update on this Lillard injury. And yeah, we'll recap the rest of the NBA and that type of stuff. So anyway, tonight was rough. We'll see what happens. And that's it for me. Anything you want to go out with, Eric? Or?
No, just appreciate all you guys. You guys have been killing it on the streams. We appreciate having you all watching. And it's very therapeutic. It really sucks when we watch games like this, but it's nice to know we have all you guys here to support each other, and we can get through this together.
Yep. Oh, man. This has been Thomas Oransky and then the side up. I appreciate you, Thomas, man. Yeah, I will catch you guys tomorrow, most likely, hopefully with good news. Hopefully our season next year will be competitive. Hopefully Dame will be okay. Definitely worried, man, but hoping for the best. That's all you can do right now. Yeah, so that's all I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.